want friends who will see us at our worst and be there with us, and see us at our best and be there with us also. Hello, hello, and welcome to the Braided Faith podcast. I am so honored and thankful and blessed to be here with y'all today. Today, we're going to have, I think, will hopefully be a great show for y'all. We're going to talk about friendship and the importance of safety in friendship and finding safe friends and being safe friends. And we're just going to talk about the safety in friendship and why that's important, how to receive it, how to be it, and all of those good things. And even how to walk away if we don't feel safe in a friendship, because that's a very, very real thing. And it's something we all, unfortunately, at some point either have had to go through or will have to go through. And so let's talk about it. Let's just dive right in. So, number one, you want friends and you want to be the friend who will rejoice with you and grieve with you. Let's see. I had that scripture pulled up and now it's gone. So let's just let me pull that up for you guys. Romans 12:15. Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. This is, for me, I feel like this is key in a friendship, and that's a key in safety in friendship. And that's why I put it as my number one, because we want friends who will see us at our worst and be there with us, and see us at our best and be there with us also. We want friends who are going to love on us when we're, in the valley, but friends who will rejoice and celebrate with us when we're on the mountaintop. And when we're in the in between and just living life, nothing too good or too bad is going on, we want our friends to just kind of sit there with us too and enjoy that also, because that can be peaceful too sometimes. But we have to have friends that will grieve with us, that will rejoice with us. And when somebody's going through something, when they're grieving something, or life is just hard and chaotic, it can be as small as simple text. And y'all, it takes 5 seconds to text, so it can be as simple as a text a couple of times. It doesn't have to be all day every day, but reach out to them, let them know you care. It can be as small as a small text as I'm praying for you, I'm thinking of you, or as big as I am bringing a meal over for you for the week and I'm going to clean your house. It can be as small or as big as those things. The key is that's a safe friend who will offer their condolences, who will offer their love. That's a safe friend. And on the other side of that, being a safe friend is also, that is good enough. And not expecting this like grand thing when you're going through something and then that person doesn't give it to you. So then you get mad and you start being passive aggressive, or, however you handle that. It has to be good enough. A simple text has to be good enough. We can't we're not being safe friends when we are putting all of these expectations on our friends. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. Just be there, be there, let them know you're praying for them. And again, it can be as small as just simple text messages, checking in on them, just even, hey, just want you to know I love you, or I'm thinking of you. Y'all, those make a world of difference. And to my friends who do that, thank you. That is enough, especially right now in the season of life that I'm in, where I myself was in and out of the hospital and having surgery and whatnot. And just the text of, hey, I'm thinking about you today, or how are you feeling today? Oh, I'm praying for you. Those have been like life-giving for me in the middle of a day when I'm feeling stressed or broken or sad or overwhelmed, whatever it is. Just getting that text come through has been just a lifeline for me. It reminds me, it's like a little wink from God, like, I love you, kid. You're not alone in this, kid. Be that God wink for God. We are supposed to be his hands and feet. And then, of course, rejoicing. That is a whole also amazing thing that we need to be doing with our friends, is rejoicing with them. Example, I had been a virtual assistant for many years. And half the time people didn't really know what that meant or what that did. But if I would throw up a business post, I would have some of my friends would rejoice with me and be like, "Yay, you're booked out." I don't know what that means, but yay, I'm cheering you on. Rejoice with your friends. Number 3, you want to have friends and you want to be the friend that allow life to happen, that are, that you are going through life. We have busy seasons sometimes. Sometimes we have chaotic seasons. Whether it's your children are sick or your spouse is sick, or I know for us, like I said, I've been in a season of with surgery, getting COVID, and we were in the middle of a move as well. My friends that were safety during and are still safety during this season are the ones that are allowing me the space to be in this busy of life. They are not getting mad if I'm not calling enough or if I'm not texting enough or if I have to cancel a coffee here and there because I need to run to the hospital and life just the day got out of hand or whatever. Even the friends that are like yesterday, for example, I had lunch with a sweet friend of mine. And as soon as I sat down, she was like, you could have canceled, right? And just even that alone was like, thank you, because that's safety. That was letting me know I don't I don't expect to be your priority right now. And if you had canceled, there would have been safety in that because you get to go through life and the hard things in life. And that's how I would want to grieve with you, is to be understanding and loving of you. But like I told her, I needed this time to just be with a good friend and to pray and to laugh and to eat good food, and then I can get back to my responsibilities. But she also now knows that we probably won't have lunch for another 2 to 3 months, just because of everything going on and whatnot. And so she's okay with that. And she's somebody that we have lunch often. And so there is safety in that. I know that life can happen and it's okay. And we'll still stay in contact throughout that time until we're able to meet up again. So you want that. You want to allow people the space for life to happen. You don't want to hold people up to these crazy expectations that we simply cannot live up to nowadays when we're older and adults, because we've got families, we've got, marriages. If you're married with kids, we have work, business, parents, to take care of, or siblings to take care of, or other friends to take care of, or grandpas, grandmas. Like, we've got life happening. And when we're older as adults, we have like very serious very serious responsibilities. And so we have to have friends that allow that to be the case. And I want to go back to, that's why those simple text messages can be vital to friendships, because both of you might be going through life. Both of you might be having crazy things going in life, and maybe y'all physically can't be there for one another. Maybe you can't physically be calling one another once a week or meeting up, but just even those small little text messages or emails or social media messages, whatever it is, hey, I'm thinking of you, can make a world of difference, and truly can make or break a friendship, because we have to have those connections and communication, and we have to know what's going on in one another's life, so that way we can pray for one another, we can let one another in, and we can also, that's also a way of saying there's space for you, there's safety for you to go through life. I don't have to be a priority for you right now. I know that you're busy. I know that you got kids' soccer games or whatever. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know you're thinking of me. Whatever the case is, it's vital, you guys. So number 1, friends who rejoice with you and friends who agree with you. Number 2, friends who You are allowed to have life happening, busy seasons happening, and they're not taking it personal if you're not around as much, or you're not texting as much as you used to, or calling as much as you used to. But the other side of that, again, you also have to be a safe friend. Maybe life is busy for you, but you also have to be a safe friend in where you're communicating with them, and letting them know, like, you're still important to me. Maybe I can't be sitting next to you grieving or going to your celebration and celebrating with you because I have X, Y, and Z going on, but I still love you, and you know all the things going on in my life. So thank you for loving me, and I love you, and I'm praying for you, and I'm rejoicing with you. So it's about communication with all that stuff, which leads me to number 3, communication. So all of that is important to you. We've got to stay in communication with our girls. And I'm so thankful, you guys. Like, I have really, over the past few months, I have really, really recognized, like, how strong some of my friendships were, and if I'm honest, how weak some of my friendships were that I thought were strong. And that's okay. I'm not mad at anybody, but it's good to recognize, to see it for what it is, so that way you can forgive, and you can, like, heal your heart, or you can let, whatever it is you need to do to heal your heart. Pray. For me, it's been prayer, which I advise for it to always start with prayer. But heal your heart, give it to God. But it's good to recognize it. It's not bad, and it shouldn't make you mad or angry or bitter. Don't let it, because at some point, if it's something you're recognizing, and you thought maybe somebody was a good friend, and maybe y'all did have a really good friendship at one point, it doesn't void the friendship before. It just means, we're just at a crossroads where now we're not that friend for one another, and that's okay. I see it, I recognize it. This is no longer a safe friendship for me, and so I get to forgive and release it to God, and be thankful. Thank God for the friendship you had with that person. Don't let go in bitterness, y'all. Don't. It's okay to recognize it. If somebody's not that friend, that's okay. I've been in that season, like, it's since October, and y'all, I'm glad I'm recognizing it. And not only to know, like, okay, that friend is probably not the safest for me, but I'm also recognizing, which is the biggest blessing, like, the friends that have, like, stepped up over the past few months, the friends who I was, like, maybe not even sure if we were friends, like, or I wasn't really sure what was going on in our friendships, or maybe I knew they were good friends, but man, they've really proved themselves to be some of the best friends over the past few months. And again, it has been the smallest of things that have just been a lifeline for me. It's been my friends that have, like, texted me almost every day, or every other day, or at least once a week, just checking in on me. Or when I check in on them, I might be like, hey, how are you doing? And they'll respond back to me, hey, I'm XYZ, doing good, doing bad, whatever it is. How, are you healing well from the surgery? Like, that those things make a world of difference, and it's the communication. And I've communicated to some of my friends, hey, life has been so crazy right now. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to meet up for coffee, but I'm here for you if you need anything, or I'm praying for you, or as soon as this season is over, I can't wait to see you. And the friends that respond with no problem at all, I'm same, and I can't wait till I can hug you. It might be a few months, that's okay. Text me, I'm here. Text me if you need prayer, I'm here. And there's no anger, there's no passive aggressiveness, there's no ghosting, there's none of those things. And on the other side of communication is when you are upset with somebody, maybe you do feel like, well, I don't feel like you grieved with me during this time, or I was celebrating X, Y, and Z, and you weren't there, you didn't celebrate with me. Communicate those things. You want people to be again, going back to safety, like, we are humans. We will make mistakes in friendships. I don't think one mistake should cause you to let go of somebody. What I think should happen, if you're able to, and if it's a friendship that you feel is safe and has been safe before. And maybe it's just like suddenly, like, where were you? Talk, communicate when something's wrong, communicate when your feelings have been hurt. And also something else when it comes to that is believe the best in your friends. Like, that is also a big mistake I've seen in people. And y'all, I had a friend like believe the best in me one time. Like, one time she was going through something crazy with her son. There was a lot of issues going on. She did share it with me and let me know what was going on. And he had been sick and also getting in trouble, and it was just this crazy, just crazy season in her life. And she had shared with me, and I checked on them a couple of times, and at that time, when like probably the next day after she had shared what was happening and what was going on in her family, I had miscarried, and I hadn't even had a chance to tell her I was pregnant. I was planning on doing that in person with her. And so I checked on her, probably not as much as I normally would, because I was going through something. And because I knew she was really battling this issue with her son, I didn't want to burden her with it, is what my thoughts were. And so this is going to be a good lesson on communication again, also. I did send texts, but because she knows me and she knows my heart, and because of my record with her has been, if something's going on, I'm checking in on her, I'm sending them food, I'm sending them flowers. Because there was a little shift in that, she didn't get her feelings hurt. And she didn't even talk to me right away. We still communicated. She didn't ghost me. She wasn't passive aggressive towards me. She didn't just forget about me and say, oh, well, she wasn't there like I wanted her to be. Because she's a safe friend, what happened was we were both just kind of going through life. We were still chatting here and there. We finally got to meet up for lunch one day, and we gave each other big hugs. It had been a while since we had seen one another, exchanged all the pleasantries and whatnot. And then she said, look, when my son was going through all the health stuff, I shared all of that with you. So I know you checked in on us a couple of times, and I'm thankful for that. But because I know you and I know that you care about me and I trust you, you just didn't grieve with me like you normally would. And I'm not complaining about that. What I want to know is what's going on with you, what's happening with you, what is going on in your heart, and haven't you why haven't you confided in me? Because Chrissy, I know you're going through something. And y'all, like that was like eye-opening for me. Wow, I have a friend who didn't get mad at me because I didn't exceed her expectations. I didn't live up to the expectations of how I normally show up for her. Wow, safe friend. Talk about a safe friend. She wasn't concerned with that. You didn't show up for me the way you normally do, so I'm out. It wasn't like that. It was because you didn't show up the way you normally do, and because I trust you and I know you. How can I be there for you? Because I know something's going on. And I shared with her and I said, look, you were going through so much and you've been so invested in us growing our family, and that I knew it would have broken your heart. And I didn't want to put that on you right now. She was like, don't ever think that. Your things that go on in your life are not a burden to me. And so it was this wow moment of, I have such a safe friend. There is so much safety in this friendship on both ends, because we were able to talk about it. We were able to communicate, and there was no passive. I had no idea she had even recognized I hadn't shown up the way she thought I would, because she never ghosted me, she never was passive aggressive towards me. She kept checking in on me, and saying, hey, how's your week, how are things going? Her friendship never skipped a beat with me, even though she recognized Chrissy's not showing up for me the way I thought she would. Safety, That is safety and friendship, y'all. And I hope that that story will bless you, because it pushed me, or encouraged me, not push, but encouraged me to want to be a better friend and to expect the best in my friends, and to know them well enough. And and that is safety and friendship, is being able to just believe the best in one another. So that's an awesome communication, and it taught me communication also, to in order to be a safe friend for her, she has to know what's going on in my life too. Otherwise, we don't have a two-way friendship. If we're not being real with one another, if we're not talking to one another, if we're not, what I could have done, and because there's safety in our friendship, she allowed me to make a mistake, and to say, I'm so sorry, you're right, I should have told you, because you're my friend and we are supposed to go through life together. And so I got to learn that lesson with her, and know, because she's a safe friend, she doesn't care what she's going through, and vice versa. I don't care what I'm going through. Tell me what's happening in your life. Let me at least pray for you. Maybe I don't have the space or the mental capacity to, or the time or whatever it is, to like physically be there with you or call you every day or whatever it is. I might not be able to do that, but if I know what's going on in your life, I have all the time in the world to pray, because I can pray when I'm driving. I can pray when I'm brushing my teeth. I can pray for you. And so I learned a valuable lesson, that no matter what, I need to be open with my friends if I'm going through something, because that builds safety in our friendship. And so you just want your friends who are going to love you through your mistakes, that are going to love you through your busyness, through chaos and life happening. And going back to the expectations, who are going to not have such high expectations for you that they get disappointed in you, or they get mad at you when you don't meet those. But when when you kind of show up different, where they're like, I'm not mad because you didn't exceed my expectations, but because, and I'm not even mad at you, I just now know, because you didn't show up the way you normally do, that something's going on with you. How can I be there for you too? So much safety in a friendship, you guys. And then the next thing I want to talk about is having the same values as each other. And it's very different in opinions, right? When we share the same values, when life is happening, when things are going on, we understand that there's a hierarchy, whether we like to admit that or not. If you're married, well, first of all, God first and foremost, right? If you're married, your husband is like the most important, and then your children, and then everything else under that. And so when we have those same values and we share those same values, you don't have to have the same opinions about things. You don't have to be on, all across the board. Y'all think the same. I mean, we've already had a discussion on that. I'm so thankful I don't have like share the same thoughts as my friends, because how boring would those conversations would be. And also, like, I've learned a lot by having difference of opinion. But when you have those same values, it makes it easy to love in the friendship and to be there in the friendship, and it makes it easier to respect and honor what other people are going through and how they're living their life. Because hey, guess what? My husband comes first too. Guess what? I my kids are coming first too. And the other, when you share those same values, the other person's not expecting to be first and foremost in your life, or they're not getting mad at you if you're not, calling every day or texting, every day or whatever it is. There's again that safety, and it's just easier, and you just kind of naturally grieve with one another, and you do what you can, and you have those hard conversations. So those values really do matter, and sharing those same values. Another thing I want to talk about is accountability. There is so much safety in accountability. I feel so blessed to have friends who will hold me accountable, because I feel safe with them, because I know if they see something that's spiritually harmful in my life, or there's something, they see danger ahead, there's safety and accountability. And so I'm so thankful to have that. And I want to be that too. And so I want to encourage you, if you have a hard time with holding people accountable, or if your friends are doing something that it could be spiritually harmful, or physically harmful, or whatever the case is, I want to encourage you to speak up, pray about it, invite God into the conversation. But you are a safe friend when you hold your friends accountable, because you care about them and you have their best interest in mind, and you're willing to lose the friendship for them, for what's best for them, or for even just to be able to like plant a seed. That's safety. That's when people really care about you. It is when you're more important than even the relationship. That's safety. And we don't like to think of it like that. We don't want to lose friendships or relationships. We don't want people to get mad at us or think badly about us. But when somebody is willing to lose you as a friend and lose the relationship because you are so much more important to them than even the relationship they have with you, that's love and that's safety, you guys. So I hope that this episode helps you want to be, encourages you, and inspires you to be a safe friend, but to also recognize when maybe there's not some safety in a friendship. And how we let those go is you pray about it, you forgive them. Please forgive them. Don't let them go until you have forgiven them. Don't let them go in bitterness and anger and hatred. Maybe you talk to them, maybe you don't. That's up to you. That's up to you. That's why I say pray about it. I don't believe that you always have to talk to somebody in order to let the friendship go. Sometimes you just slowly walk away, or you just release it to God and say, I'm going to go on with my life. It depends on the friendship, it depends on the situation. That's why praying for about it is vital. Praying for your heart, for God to come in and heal you. But forgive them, don't judge them. Recognize that this isn't a safe friendship for me right now. And that's okay. I forgive them and I release them, because I don't want to be in an unsafe friendship. I want to be in a safe and loving and healthy friendship where there's no passive aggressiveness. There's no ghosting. There's no me feeling like I'm always walking on, eggshells, or if I don't do this enough, or if I do this, or I don't do this, or if I say this, or I speak this opinion. Don't live like that. Don't live like that. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to be mad at them. You don't have to judge them. You just recognize the friendship for what it is. You forgive and you release. Let it go. Let the friendship go, let them go, let the pain go, the anger, whatever it is negative thing you're feeling, release it to God. Bless and release. So I love you guys. Let's go through these real quick. Uh, Friends, rejoice and grieve with one another. So you want to be that friend, and you want to have friends that will rejoice with you and grieve with you. You want friends who allow life to be happening, who are there's safety in life happening, where they're not going to get offended, or they're not going to get their tail ruffled if you're not calling them enough, or you're not, maybe you even have to cancel coffee once because you have to go to a doctor's appointment, or you're sick, or your husband's sick, or you know what, I'm just tired, life has been crazy. I mean, yeah, and I get that. Like we just finally are getting settled into our new house. Sometimes I'm tired. We're still unboxing, and sometimes I am just tired and I don't feel like doing anything the next day. I'm not saying that you should have friends, that you should be okay with friends flaking out on you all the time. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a difference, there's a difference. And again, going back to the communication, that's, the next one. There's safety in communication when we're communicating. I'm just going through a lot right now. I'm so sorry. You want the safety to be going through those things, but we have to make that safer by being, by communicating to one another. You want people who see the best in you, who will see the best in you first, rather than just immediately seeing the worst in you and, calling you selfish because you didn't show up the way they wanted you to or they thought you would. And that, they don't just be like, well, you know what, I'm done, she's selfish. Like, no, you want friends who are first and foremost going to think the best of you before just giving up on you. And then having the same values as one another, and then showing each other accountability, being each other's accountability partners. So I love you guys, and I pray that this blesses you. Share it with a friend. Let this also encourage you or inspire you to reach out to your friends that are so safe to you and say thank you. Thank you for being a good friend. I love you, and let me know how I can be a good friend to you. Or if there's anything I need to work on, please communicate with me. I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.